My guest tonight here in Los Angeles, film editor for USA Today, Scott Bowles is here. Not to mention superstar of Iron Man, apparently, Scott. Congratulations.
Well, we'll see how much Favreau keeps in it, but right now I have at least a line in the movie.
At least a line. Well done. Any spoilers as to your line?
Where are your pants, Tony Stark?
All right. Thanks, Scott. Let me ask you, let's get to this anime and the film thing, because studios are suddenly grabbing up tons of anime properties for these live-action adaptations. Why are they doing that? Are they really just that out of ideas?
They are. But the good news is that anime actually has a lot of good storylines to it. You know, The Matrix was originally based on anime. And what they're really doing is not only to anime, but to graphic novels. Most of these are in graphic novel form. And in Hollywood, graphic novels have done really well. Even those serious dramas like Road to Perdition make more than $100 million. So they are out of ideas, but fortunately, that's a pretty good tap well to reach into.
Well, and they're mining it as hard as they can because there's so many blockbusters planned. I think things are really starting off with Speed Racer. If that movie flops, though, will there be a domino effect? Could that be a very terrible thing for the industry?
It's going to be a dangerous thing for the industry. And Speed Racer is a high-stakes gamble. You'll see that the other big movies get made. What you won't see is a lot of movies after that getting made, because anime to this point really hasn't caught on with American audiences. I mean, we had Spirited Away, which does very well with critics, but audiences yet haven't shown that they really want to see it on the big screen.
Well, I know you actually saw Speed Racer, is that right? Right. All right, so can we have time for a quick mini review? I mean, should anime fans be worried?
Anime fans should be excited. It is very true to the show of the 60s. What's unusual about it is it's completely family-friendly. If you're looking for that sort of dark Wachowski tone that you saw in V for Vendetta and The Matrix, it's not there. They're going for the family, and this has the same tenor as the TV show did. So if you're a fan of the show, the palette on this movie is amazing. It's really, if you're a fan of the original show, you're going to like the movie.
Is it littered with awesome CG cross-dressing, or did they leave that on the cutting room floor as well? No pun intended.
No
there.
comment on that.
All right. Well, this week we got word that M. Night Shyamalan just came on board to direct a film based on Avatar, The Last Airbender. Of course, they're dropping Avatar from the name to avoid confusion with James Cameron's upcoming film. Why do you think M. Night, of all people, is turning to anime, Scott?
Well, one, he really is a fan of good writing. He is an avid reader of story in just about any language. But what's interesting about M. Night is he allows his family to influence what he does. Lady in the Water was born of a fairy tale he made up and told to his children. And I think what you're seeing here is him watching his children become fans of that genre and decides to tackle it himself. He also wants to change up his pace. He doesn't want to be the Hitchcock of Hollywood anymore.
Right. Well, some would argue that he's not that anymore thanks to his track record.
Right.
I mean, should we be worried about this project because of his last few projects?
You know, it's one of those things that's a high-stake gamble. He's a home run hitter or he strikes out. So it's one of those things that's worth the gamble, because if he does it well, it could be the best of the bunch. If he strikes out, though, it's going to have the same effect that Speed Racer does and discourage a lot of studios from wading into those waters.
Well, what about Spielberg? I mean, here's a guy who's doing a live-action adaptation, a 3D version of Ghost in the Shell.
Right.
I mean, is this a good project for him? It sounds interesting, but I don't know if Spielberg's the guy for it.
You know, Spielberg made such a misstep with AI. Hopefully he's learned his lesson from AI, that you've got to immerse yourself as much in the story as you do in the effects. But this guy is legendary. He gets to do whatever he wants. I think if he keeps Haley Joel Osment away from the project, it's worth the investment. All
right, speaking of adorable boys, what about that Leonardo DiCaprio, Scott? Come on, he's producing and starring in Akira. That sounds a little mainstream to me.
It's very mainstream. What you're seeing there is an attempt to get women into anime. And it could work because he does have a draw that few actors do in getting teen girls out. As much as he'd like to shake that reputation, he's the one guy who could bring women and teen girls to anime.
Right, wait, is Akira the project to bring women to anime? The giant tentacle arm and lots of screaming freakouts? Is that really what the chicks are digging these days?
Well, this will be a test of Leonardo as much as it will be of anime. The problem with that is if the girls go, then the guys might not want to. This one, more than any other, runs the risk of being hurt by being popular with the mainstream.
All right, Scott, are there any other properties that you think will get grabbed up anytime soon?
You know, there was briefly talk about Ultraman, the 60s show that then went into anime and then came back out into a Garmin commercial for the Super Bowl.
Right.
But they're going to wait and see, because that one may be too old. But to me, that's the most interesting one because it has such a fierce fan base. It'd be interesting to see what Hollywood does with it.
I completely agree with you there. Scott, as always, a pleasure to have you. Thanks for stopping by and keeping us in the loop. Good luck with Iron Man, by the way. We haven't seen the final cut, but I hope you're in there, buddy.
Thanks.